Hi,
Hello.
I'm Louisa. Could you briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Hayley and I'm from London in the UK.
Okay, when you first saw either our t-shirts or when somebody of us spoke about I Heart Being a Girl, what were your first thoughts, like first impressions?
First impression was that I immediately agreed and I thought it was a really cool way of showing that you like being a girl. Very good, very trendy.
Do you like being a girl?
I do, yes.
What would be like the first reasons you would say?
Unfortunately, they'd be quite girly reasons because I like wearing pretty dresses and nice fragrances and doing your hair nice.
And like you said, it was a certain kind of saying that those are good, the girly reasons. Like what? Why girly?
Well, you have to think of all the stereotypes. Girls like pink and boys like blue. So yeah, they're not what make me me, and that's not what makes me being a girl. But they are things that I enjoy. That I know sometimes that boys don't like wearing dresses. Some do.
Okay. Have there ever been points in your lives where you have thought that it would be nicer to be a boy?
Not necessarily nicer, but easier. Yeah. For example, in my work, when you're trying to progress in your career, there's definitely glass ceilings for girls, for women. The pay is different, the treatment is different, the kind of power dynamics is different. So sometimes, yeah.
How would you say, how is the gender equality and opportunities in UK?
I think comparatively to the rest of the world that we're doing okay. But I do think that if we become complacent about it, because we think and everyone else thinks that we're doing okay, then the balance will shift again, not in our favour.
But what would you say? What would be the major challenges for girls worldwide?
For girls worldwide, just huge inequality, gender inequality in terms of empowerment, in self-esteem, in your marriage, in your job, in all walks of life really, in housing, education. I mean, it knows no bounds, the inequality, unfortunately.
And what would you say? What are the first things that could be done to change that, to improve it?
I think empowerment, and that goes along within education, both formal education and non-formal education. I think a lot of behaviour change will come from that.
How would you define empowerment?
Well, empowerment, what a buzzword. I would say it's building on the self-esteem of the girl, and encouraging her confidence, her self-confidence, and just generally her ability and her knowledge to achieve.
What is the difference in feeling when you are wearing a pretty dress and nice perfume and when you're not?
The thing is, for me, I can wear a nice dress and perfume, I can wear tracksuit bottoms, I can wear Wellington boots, it doesn't matter what I wear, because I still feel empowered and I still feel confident, but that's because of the upbringing I've had and the privileges that I have had, and that my self-esteem is high. So for me, yeah, it doesn't matter what I wear because I feel empowered all the time. I'm very lucky for that.
You mentioned your upbringing. How has it been when it comes to like gender perspective and talking about the difference between girls and boys? Yeah. How was that?
For me, fine. I get a lot of my leadership skills and my empowerment from being a Girl Guide. I'm part of the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. They are all about leadership, empowerment and equality for girls and young women around the world. I learned all of my leadership skills from them, my becoming empowered by them, practical skills. Yeah, so they were in my life since I was 7, through till now, so they've been a pretty big part of it.
And do you remember any conversations in family about what girls are supposed to do, what girls are not supposed to do, maybe?
No conversations in my family. I have a brother and me, and then I have a mother and a father. So it was 2 against 2, and no, there was no gender difference actually when I was growing up, I don't think. Although I did sometimes want my brother's toys at Christmas. He did tend to get the cool spaceships with all the buttons that makes all the noise, and I did tend to get soap, which is less than ideal, but that was fine because I used to just steal it off of him when he wasn't looking, so it's fine, and put a soap in the way of where his spaceship used to be, so it's fine.
Okay, but to bring forward that equality, what should change in education, and what happens in schools? Because maybe you have some experiences at school when it comes to girls and boys and difference. Did you go to the mixed school?
Yeah, I went to a mixed school. To be honest, I didn't notice. Looking back, I didn't notice much gender difference, which may mean that it wasn't there, but it probably was. But no, I think I was always a good girl at school. I was always up there with the boys in all of the league tables and all of the exercises we did. So for me, I didn't notice it so much. I was quite bossy, which helped. I've learnt to tone that down now that I'm older, but yeah.
You just said that you were a good girl. What do you mean by that?
A good girl, maybe a good person. Yeah, I studied hard. I didn't get into trouble at school. I was interested in dancing. I went to dance classes, and I went to guides, and yeah, learnt all my female empowerment from those things.
Do you have any what are your role models in life? Do you have any?
Role models in life? Not any kind of famous ones. I don't really get my ambition from anyone famous particularly. I would call a role model someone that had achieved what they wanted to achieve, or at least tried to get there. You know, I don't think it's always about the end result. You've got to try and see how far you get. And life often takes you on different paths, and you have to follow the one that you want to.
Okay, but if you would have to put a portrait of a well-known woman in your bedroom, who would that be?
Who would that be? That's a good question. It wouldn't be Margaret Thatcher, which is unfortunate. That's the UK. Such a powerful person in the UK for a woman, and she just behaved like a man. If you want empowerment for women, you have to behave like a woman in a man's world. You can't turn into a man. So maybe who? Maybe the Queen.
Ooh, which one?
Queen Elizabeth II of the UK, and I say that only because she's a strong woman. She heads her family. She heads the state. She lives a double life. She has to balance it all. Sometimes she does it well. Sometimes she makes mistakes, and she lives with them and she learns from them. She's not perfect, because no girl is, no boy is. But yeah, I think she does it all in strength and in dignity. I respect that.
What would you say? What are the obstacles that young girls face, in particular? Let's talk about UK, as you've grown up there. What would you say? What are the major obstacles that girls face growing up there?
Still the stereotypes. So in terms of education, boys, it's the science, it's the maths. It's still geared towards boys, even though results show that girls are equal, if not ahead of the grades of boys. It's the gender stereotypes of the clothing and the colours and the household chores. It's just ingrained in the brain for so many generations, my grandparents, my parents, mine, the generations behind me, that even though we're trying to get over it, it is still there like second nature, and we really need to try to move on from that.
How do you think, what has been different, like in the way your mom lived being a girl, and how it has been with you?
Not necessarily about her being a girl, but she grew up, she got a job, and then she had children, and she stayed at home, and now she has a part-time job. Not once did she have a career, and that was her choice, and I respect that, but I choose a career for now, and I think that sometimes introduces disparity in our relationship, because she won't understand that I'm more officially qualified and have a career, both two things she doesn't have, and that will sometimes be difficult for us to really interact when, although we're so close, we're also so different and have chosen different things in life.
Okay. If you would have to explain, like, let's say to a Martian, what it is to be a girl, what would be like the first three things that have to be made clear?
To be a girl? I don't know. I don't think it's any different from if you ask me the question, what's it like to be a person? It's to love, it's to laugh, and it's to experience the world.
Okay. You already said that the most pressing issue is the inequality in the world. If you would be able to change one thing for all girls in the world, be it in family, be it in school, be it when they're born, what would that be?
What would I change one thing in the world for a girl?
Or for everybody? Or for girl child? Girl children?
What would I change? People's perceptions, I suppose. We talk about empowerment, and obviously, that's going to come from within, but it's also, you can't escape external factors, so people's perceptions have to, if I could change things for girls and people, it needs to be other people's opinions, because they're going to affect people.
Where do those opinions come from?
Well, the vicious circle. So, people have stereotypes, and then people will act up to those stereotypes because they feel they have to fit into a role and have to fit expectations. And then even if you exceed expectations, stereotypes are going to bring you down. And it is just, it's a vicious circle we need to get out.
How can we get out of it?
How can we get out of it? Education, education, education.
Oh. Okay. What would be the superpower of Superwoman?
Ooh, superpower of Superwoman. Gosh, that's exciting. To be invisible, so that she can become, she can be invisible for maybe a set amount of time, and then everything that she learns in secret will then, when she becomes she hasn't got her power anymore, she then becomes more visible than she's ever been before, and she can take over the world and become the same level as the man-child.
As a Superman. Okay. Would you be so kind and say that you love being a girl in the camera?
Yes.
Please.
I love being a girl.